$500,000 to 1.2 million, single family townhomes and no condos, no gated, no adult communities, 1950 or newer. And then in other markets like Knoxville, that number is a lot different. But uh, we do consider condos in this market with exterior access. We'll buy up to 1 acre, no leased solar, and even some homes in flood zones, just depends on the location. Chattanooga, same situation. Uh, this is our pricing, what we're looking for, and so forth, and also for Kansas City. But we have this buy box for every one of our markets, and so it's just a matter of finding the right homes that meet this criteria to see if it qualifies.
Perfect. Melissa, I wanted to ask you real fast, you or Rhett. Opendoor is a huge company. You guys are a huge deal. I'm sure most people here have heard of you even before and beyond my state MLS. We just breezed past the who is Opendoor, but do you guys have any like stats or any touts or anything that really, I guess, emphasizes who you guys are and gets people excited about it?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Nick. That's a great question. Well, what's crazy is to think that we've been around now for 10 years, right? So Open Door, we still sometimes act as and think of as a startup, and a lot of people maybe look at us that way, but we've been doing this for 10 years. And the goal from the very beginning was um, to help sellers, give sellers an option in a situation where they needed simple, fast, and certainty. And really to be able to do that with the ease of their phone. Um, so that all started, 10 years ago, and here we are. And where we've really evolved, I think, and gotten smarter and better is partnering with agents and partnering with people in the industry because, the agent is still, it remains very critical to the transaction. And so you said in the beginning that this partnership with MyState and Opendoor is the first of its kind, and it truly is. I think I give such credit to your organization for kind of leading in this regard. And what we've done is we've really just kind of revamped the previous instant offer program that you guys led with, prior to this partnership. And we're simply just trying to make it better, easier, and more available to your MLS subscribers and customers because really it empowers each one of your agents to provide an option that maybe their sellers don't know about. Maybe it's best for them. And then at the same time, a way to earn extra commission from Opendoor. So that's kind of in a nutshell, I think, a high level takeaway.
Yeah, yeah. From a high level perspective, it's funny. I know this industry has been pretty skeptical about home buyers, right? Because you're getting an agent to blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, Opendoor has such a great program that for many of your sellers and your clients, it is possibly the best option to go. Now that's you understand the deal, you understand the property, that's your discretion. But we'll go over some of that in more detail. But from a high level, Opendoor has been partnering with agents in a way that where everybody wins, especially the client.
Yep, yep, that's very well said. So we're very excited to be partnering with you guys and to just bring this option to more of your agents and their sellers as it's a good fit.
Perfect.
So how does Open Door work? We first you request and see if your offer is eligible. Next is the home assessment, which is when one of our representatives comes out and does a quick exterior walk around of the outside only. They don't need to enter the interior. And then once that happens, they finalize the cash offer and give you a flexible closing date. Um, Once we close the transaction, Open Door makes minor repairs and renovations, and then they use Open Door brokerage to list the homes, relist the homes for sale. and they have the self-tour available. What do your clients get with Opendoor? Well, they get convenience, certainty, speed and control. You can skip the hassle of showings and preparing a home for sale. Um, Inconvenient timelines, having to hurry up and clean your house before someone comes home, comes to take a look. You can skip all of that. Your offer, once, the final offer is received, you can feel confident that Opendoor is going to uh, proceed with the sale, and you're going to get a quick cash close, and then you're in full control. The seller's in full control of when, how quickly or how, up to 90 days they'd like to close escrow. We can change those dates if needed. We're very, very flexible in that aspect for the convenience of the seller. Next slide.
All right. So why should you guys use instant offers? We're now at this part of the presentation, and we broke it down into a few different categories for you. So first of all, you want to use instant offers obviously when it best fits your client needs. We're going to go over some specific scenarios, but when a quick and pain-free close is what they need, then Opendoor is a great option for that. Secondly, you're going to be able to increase your credibility as an agent and use it to enhance your listing appointments. And I'll tell you exactly how, right? You sit down with a potential customer, a potential client, and you say, hey, I have a network of cash investors. And if you allow me to list this property, then I believe I can get you an offer within the first 3 days. And before we even put it live onto the market, and then we'll give you the option whether or not you want to take that offer, right? Leveraging the fact that you have this tool to just one up some of the competitors who may also have listing appointments with the same potential client. And then lastly, there are a lot of agent incentives that Opendoor offers. So if you do a deal and close a deal with Opendoor, there are plenty of benefits, and we'll go into those in detail very shortly as well. But let's talk about this first scenario a little bit. When closing quickly and pain-free is the best scenario for your customer. Opendoor is a tool. It's one of the many tools in your tool belt, and you now have it as an extra option through your MyState MLS account. The best situations to utilize Opendoor are situations where the seller has circumstances they need to sell fast. They need to sell quick, right? So pending foreclosures, divorces, relocating for work. Maybe they are distant from the property themselves, so they need something quick and something that they can do from across the country, right? Maybe the seller doesn't want people walking through their house for one reason or another. Or they have a contingency that they want to buy a home, but they need to sell their home quickly. Otherwise, they can't buy their dream home, right? There are plenty of different reasons why somebody may need a quick close. And here we've listed just a handful of them, but there are plenty more. And I'm sure you guys, with your industry experience, know some others that aren't on this list. So families who need to skip showings, we discussed that a little bit. And these are just many. I mean, Rhett and Melissa, how many transactions have you guys done in the last 10 years? Do you even know that number?
I don't know the 10-year number.
What about the last year?
Off the top of my head, but we buy, working with agents and directly with sellers, we're buying thousands of homes a month across our footprint of 50 cities. Of course, different times, there were periods where we were buying more than that, and we're in a period now where we're buying fewer homes than we bought in the past. But there's definitely a need. And we've learned too that a lot of the homes that we buy every month are originating from agent partners of Opendoor. So it is a strong partnership that we have with agents across the country.
That's great. I just asked because here we have a handful of testimonials, but it's just 5 of thousands and thousands and thousands, right? People who really like this program. So families who need to skip showings, and then there's a genuine family who need to skip a showing, right? If you want to read all of these quotes, we have them available on this presentation slide after the fact. New construction buyers, families needing a specific sale, like if they're worried about financing, maybe there's like, so me personally, I live in a community, a townhouse where I pay an HOA. Now I pay all my dues, but if I didn't and there were $15,000 in dues stacked up, then that cost typically gets pushed to the buyer, right? So there are just very specific little scenarios where going through Opendoor may be the best route for your customer. Seller with deferred maintenance. All right, sounds great. So now let's get into how we actually utilize Opendoor within the MyState MLS system. So right here we have a video. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to go through the listing process just like you would any other listing in MyState MLS. You guys are all members. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns on how to create a listing, please let us know or sit in on one of our training sessions. So you already understand how to do it. And side note, we do have a new design for the listing wizard coming soon. But what's so special, you remember all those interesting buy box slides where you're thinking to yourself, oh, I got to memorize all these details? No. We've integrated with Opendoor in a complex partnership. So once you enter your listing information, if your listing qualifies for an Opendoor instant offer, that will automatically be shown to you, right? And then also within our integration, if your customer wants to make an instant offer, that information is all going to pass to Opendoor. So at the end of your listing, you'll land on this slide right here. If the offer is eligible, it'll show you the price range that Opendoor is offering. And if you want to go ahead and continue with that Opendoor offer, you just simply click yes, I'll proceed with the offer. We'll send you an email. We'll send you an email, and in that email you'll have multiple links, and you just pretty much continue on with the user experience. And I'm going to pass it off to Melissa to talk about the Opendoor side of the user experience. However, first I do want to note to all of our members, Opendoor, when you're going through their offer, if you do decide to take on the Opendoor process, you cannot make your listing live. Okay, you have to delay the listing to be syndicated for about, however long the process takes, but within the first few days, you'll be able to understand what their final offer is and get all the information that you need to then understand whether you want to syndicate, go to Zillow, Trulia Homes, all the 100+ syndication sites that we provide as an MLS.
Yeah, and Nick, I'll chime in there too, because I think it's important to note. So, first of all, the video was super helpful, and again, your members know how to do, your customers know how to do that. It's important to note that the preliminary instant offer surfaces, if you will, or displays near the very end of the wizard, right? And the reason why is because, again, we're trying to do the lifting for you, the heavy work for you, so that you don't have to enter something over here, then enter something over here, right? It's all integrated. And really behind the scenes, the wizards there at the computer wizards there at MyState, all they're doing is they're just pinging a database that says, is this eligible? Is this eligible? Is this eligible? Right? So that you're not having to do it, frankly. And then if at the end of that, it's like, oh, there's a match, right? It's like, okay, there's a match here. Here's a preliminary instant offer, right? And that's the screen that you see here. What we wanted to point out is the step that Nick mentioned, which is to proceed with the preliminary offer, to request and to receive a final offer, you should keep the listing in a draft status. And here's why. And this is what's on the screen here. Properties that are not actively listed receive higher offers. That probably would make sense to most of us real estate folks, right? So market exposure will oftentimes lead to a lower offer. Market exposure meaning homes that are listed already on the MLS. So just keep that in mind, right? Properties that are not actively listed, whether it's in my state or a neighboring MLS or another MLS, if they're not listed, that preliminary initial offer will be its highest, right? And then the second point here is offers on listed homes will be lower, right, than offers on homes not listed. So essentially saying the same thing. And then the third really item here that I think is really interesting, and we see this sometimes, and it's really just kind of a more of a tip for you guys. But that first offer request, right, will typically return the highest offer. So the first time an address is requesting someone with an address is requesting an offer for the first time ever from Opendoor, it's more likely to be higher than if it's a repeat offer request a month later or 2 months later, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind and consider doing it first. Consider doing it before your seller may do it, because your seller may know about Opendoor. Your seller may be looking at other options, or that potential seller client that you maybe haven't signed yet, but you want to, right? And you plan to. So going in with this information ahead of time early makes it even more powerful for you and really keeps you at the center of that transaction, regardless of which option is best for them. So that's something to keep in mind.
Totally agree. So I'll take this slide. So here's the screen you're going to see once you click on yes, I would like to receive an instant cash offer. It's going to give you this little pop-up screen congratulating you and letting you know that you'll be receiving an email shortly to confirm the preliminary offer details and give you the next steps in the process. So you can check your email, and there's going to be, in the next slide, there's a link here to click to get the offer. And this link is going to take you directly into your Opendoor dashboard. You have your own custom dashboard tool that you'll use for the entire transaction. It's a simple process. You click the blue button to show the home, and this can all be done right from your phone with ease. It walks you right through the process. So when you click show us the home, the next slide we'll be looking at will be our task list. And it's really easy to work with. Agents we've gotten some great feedback that it's super user friendly. It just walks you through the timeline. It gives you the due dates for each item. Helps you just click on upload a video and you record it right there from your phone of the interior, in the backyard and the front yard. And once you get through that process, the next step will be that your experience partner that's assigned to you will reach out, introduce themselves, ask you if you have any questions, and then they'll help you arrange a home exterior evaluation with one of our home ops coordinator team members. And that's a pretty quick turn time. You'll choose a time that works for your client. They don't even need to be home for that evaluation. They would just need access to the backyard if there was a locking gate or something like that. But it's a very simple and easy to use process. We can
Mel, one thing I'd love to add here, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but Nick, again, back to that phone first design, right? Like we know everyone, right? I was about to say agents, but, and of course, Mel and I have both been agents, but like we know everyone's on their phone and uses their phone for everything, right? So we're well past those days. But what's really nice about the interface is, in my mind, when I think about it, if I were practicing today, which I'm not, is like that first time that I go, now that I know that this is integrated in my state, the first time I go on that listing appointment, I would request from my potential client, like, hey, do you mind if I take a quick video of the interior of your house and a quick video of the exterior of your house with my phone, right? That's pretty normal, right? And then having that already on the phone, then coming back into my state, and if there's a match, getting the pop-up that says, oh, it's eligible for a preliminary offer, and then very easily opening the email from the phone, and everything can be done on the phone, right? You don't even need to worry about transferring the video from your phone to your desktop and then from the desktop going in that way, right? If you can do that, but it's almost easier just to, once you land in the Opendoor portal on your phone, just load the videos in. And then you're already a day or two ahead of that process. You're making that process faster. Because from a preliminary offer, we're simply asking the agent to submit those videos to then receive a final offer, right? And then also that second step is the exterior assessment, which we'll schedule. So the power is all right there in our hands.
I love
No,
that.
no, perfect. Yeah, and just to tack onto that even more, Opendoor does have experience working directly with home sellers, and thus they're not looking for some super incredibly high quality edited listing video, right? You can just, if you're on that listing appointment and you identify that they're a good prospect to get an instant offer, then just say, hey, do you mind if I just take a quick video around the place? We'll get this sold for you as soon as possible.
Yep. That's a really good point. We're not, I mean, the quality of that video, because as agents, I think everyone's thinking like, oh, professional photography and choreographed and, like Instagram type videos. That is not what these are. They are raw videos from, agents or sellers, as you mentioned, that really just shows the home. I mean, it makes me think of the Super Bowl commercial that we ran, specifically in Atlanta, where we basically worked with a family for them to receive an offer from Opendoor during the halftime show. It was that easy and that fast.
Yeah, that was great. And so once back to the customer dashboard, this is just a section where you have a chance to double check your work or your inputs to make sure everything's as accurate as possible. Of course, double checking and making sure everything's as accurate as possible is going to ensure that your client gets their very best offer. The first offer is going to be the highest and best offer. And then it's not a whole lot of questions. It's just a handful of questions you can double check. And then we use that information along with the videos and the exterior evaluation to basically prepare the finalized offer for the seller. And if we move to the next slide, we have a timeline. Excuse me. So basically that timeline, what it looks like from start to finish, when you input all of your info, it's usually about 7 days total in turn to get the finalized offer, get the contract drawn up, and so forth. But once everything's submitted and loaded, that's all you really need to worry about. Opendoor will take it from there, and the experienced partner along with the homes team that does the exterior evaluation, they get together and discuss, crunch the numbers with our underwriting team, and then send the finalized offer for the sellers to accept or decline.
I think we have the timeline as the next slide, Nick. Is that right? No, that's the support slide. I think somewhere there it is. Yeah.
There
So
we are.
here's the timeline, Mel. If you want to speak to that real quick.
Yeah. So here's our, this is what the process looks like. Just to give you a better idea of what we're doing and why it takes, sometimes from start to finish, it can go up to 90 days or as quickly as 14 days. Just depends on the needs of your client. Day 1, you request your offer. Day 2, you upload the videos, or even on day 1 if you took the videos beforehand, like Rhett said, and then you can go ahead on the next day. Opendoor will, once you've uploaded your videos, your experienced partner is going to give you a call to schedule the exterior evaluation, which is usually the next day. And then if your client's available, and then once that's done, they put the final offer together, crunch the numbers, and then send you over the contract to review with your client. And that contract, all this is going to be available, this entire timeline, and each step along the way is going to be right available in your Opendoor dashboard. Your experience partner will be available. You can call them or email them at any time you have questions or need some support. Um, we're flexible with the closing date. So if you decide at first you want to do a quick close and then change your mind or circumstances change, you can push the close of escrow out to 90 days if you want to. So it's just really designed for flexibility for the seller and for everyone involved.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know which one of you guys want to speak on this, and Rhett, maybe this is what you were going to as well. But one of the biggest pros of Opendoor is how quickly they can close a deal, right? As opposed to the traditional 30-day escrow with a non-cash buyer. So even though you guys can elongate it out to 90 days, what would you say on average it takes to close?
Well, Mel's closed probably over 500 deals at Opendoor in her career here. So Mel, what would you say to that?
I'd say the average is 21 to 30 days.
There you go.
Awesome.
I think again, to your point, Nick, is like we're just an option, and the option certainly doesn't work for a majority of sellers, but for those sellers where it does work and it is a good fit, it's a great fit, right? And this process gives your customers, your agents, full control. And what I wanted to just kind of mention in the whole process is you can submit the videos and request the exterior assessment and coordinate that, with your seller to say, hey, someone from Opendoor is going to stop by, and you can do all of that right to get them the final offer. At some point with the final offer, you would need to introduce the seller into the workflow for them to review because they'll be signing it. But at that point, we've already identified this as you representing the seller, and you will be looped in on all the communication that happens between the parties. So it is complete control. And the one thing I want to just also add here that I think folks may not know, and personally, I love this about how we operate, is your seller can cancel at any time. No one needs to sell their house to Opendoor if they decide at a later date they don't want to, right? So there is no penalty, there is no fine, there is no headache. Up to the day of closing. We would prefer that not to happen, but we just want to make sure that you and your agents understand that this is an option that should be good for the seller. And if for whatever reason during this period of time that changes, that's okay. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that. Okay, Mel, we can continue on.
So if you have questions, again, we're here to help. And once you're going to get emails, you're not going to get spammed from us, but you are going to get email reminders. You're going to get support emails. Like if you haven't uploaded the video of the home, it may send you a reminder. If you need help doing that, your experience partner's name will be right available in the dashboard to where you can get in touch, request a call, or even give them a call, or you can email back and forth, whatever works best for you. They're there to help you. They can even help you if there's a circumstance where the agent is having trouble doing the video assessment. Our experience partners are available to also help with that process. They can schedule the video assessment with you if that's desired. That's an option. So we're just covering every aspect of support, and you can do it as self-guided or as you can have help available if you want it. You can take it on yourself. It's flexible in either manner. Just all about what the user prefers, and we do that so it's easy across the board for every user. And next, we'll move on to agent commission programs.
Yeah,
Everybody's
Melissa, I know
favorite.
that. Yeah, this is everyone's like, oh, how to? That's fun and dandy and helpful and all, but what's in it for me?
Yeah, how do I get paid? So there's a couple different ways to get paid from Opendoor. Seller representation, of course, in this scenario is one way. You're by representing your client, you're eligible to receive a 1% commission at closing. You'll be representing your seller just the same way you would in any other traditional transaction. The only difference is that you're selling to Opendoor, and you'll have your experienced partner to help manage the transaction with you, get you appropriate paperwork and so forth. Um, and each deal that you close, you earn 100 loyalty points. And those, correct me if I'm wrong, Rhett, but I believe those accrue annually, and so you can, the more business you do with Opendoor, the more you can earn potentially.
That's right.
And here's just a overview of what does that look like. Like, let's break it down. So seller represented commission, we put an example together here of $400,000 purchase price. Your seller commission is whatever you've agreed to with your client. Let's just use 3%, for example. So you're already going to get 12,000 from your seller on the listing side. And then in addition to that, Opendoor is going to completely separately pay another 1% commission. So you're making an extra $4,000 off, on the transaction. So that's pretty nice. And then you also are earning those loyalty points to, earn even more in the future. So we've also put a little link here on this third bubble that is a link to FAQs and some more information if you'd like to further educate yourself on the programs and things we've got available to agents to earn more. Please do so. Please check it out. And
One thing I'll add there, Mel, just to kind of give everyone an idea, is the Agent Access program is essentially like our rewards program. And we will be modifying it going into next year. So that's why we didn't want to put too many details in this slide, but it's all currently right there in that link. So it's opendoor.com/agent-access or just agent access. We'll take you there. You can look at that. But for example, for the remainder of the year, after you'll earn 100 points, if you will, for your first 4 transactions, if you were to refer or represent a seller to Opendoor, on that 5th one, there's a bonus that kicks in, right? A $5,000 bonus, right? That kicks in for that 5th one after you've referred or represented 4. So that's just like an example of if you have clients where this is a good fit, and you have more than one, then there's an incentive, and you would benefit through that. So that's just one of the examples. You can see all the details there at opendoor.com/agent-access.
thank you. And this is just a little bit of good points to reference when it comes to seller representation for commission qualifications. Some of them are very obvious. The agent must have an active license in good standing, and then have successfully owned. Let's see, agent-owned homes are also eligible. Agent-owned homes are not eligible for commission paid by Opendoor. So that's something to remember for the future. And the most important one I want to focus on here is to make sure everyone understands that homes listed on the MLS will not be eligible for that 1% commission paid by Opendoor. So just a reminder, keep that offer in pre-listed status while you're negotiating that offer with Opendoor to make sure that you get your 1% commission. If the agent isn't eligible for 1% commission paid by Opendoor, the agent will be eligible for the loyalty points toward the bonus instead. So there's a way to still earn, and also there's a way to win no matter what. But just wanted to make sure everyone clearly understands that if the home is on the market, it's not going to be eligible for that 1%. That's the main takeaway from this slide. And then the next choice that you have, there may be different circumstances from client to client, but you also have the option to refer a seller to Opendoor, meaning you kind of hand them off to our team, and for whatever the circumstances might be. It could be because they're out of state, or for whatever reason the agent isn't comfortable representing that seller in that transaction. You can simply hand it off. The key difference is the seller works directly with Opendoor versus negotiating directly with you, the agent. So it removes you from the driver's seat, puts the seller in the driver's seat, and you would be eligible to receive a 1% compensation at close of escrow. And then again, you'll be accruing those loyalty points. So it's either option that works best for you is a win-win.
Again, Nick, I love this option because we know that situations are different, right? And we leave that choice up to your agent customer, right? You guys, the agents know what's best in that scenario. They are hands down the local expert, and they have the relationship. So it's at that point within the My State system, when they see that pop up like that it's eligible for a preliminary offer, that's when they can choose, hey, I want to represent the seller, right? Or I just want to refer the seller. Either way, they earn the 1% at closing, and they earn the loyalty points, right? So that's the choice that we wanted to make sure that agents always have, because they know the circumstances better than anyone else. And again, we have lots of agents that will just refer. They're like, you know what, I'm out, or I'm not there, or I can't deal with it, or they want to do the videos and they want to be in control. Great, let them, and then we still pay the agent 1%. So just keep that in mind. It's a good option.
And here on this slide, we've just put together an overview of what the commissions paid at closing looks like. We automatically generate commission instructions when the property goes into contract, and that provides all the details for the commissions that Opendoor is going to be paying you at close of escrow. And all funds will be dispersed at closing via title and escrow. Just FYI.
All right. So that brings us to just about the end of this presentation. Now, did you guys have any other last moment thoughts before we round this up, or?
I don't. I think we
we covered it. Yeah, we covered
well.
everything in detail. So let me ask you guys this, because I'm just personally curious. So, in the referral option, do they still have to be within your state? Like within the state that you're licensed? Let's say I have a cousin in Wisconsin who's trying to sell a home. I'm not a licensed agent in Wisconsin. I only have California, Florida. Is that an option, or is that no? Or is this too detailed of a question? Oh, Brett, I think you're muted.
Yeah, thanks. Mel, I was going to ask you, in your transaction history, have you come across that?
I have not at Opendoor, but I am also a broker, a California broker. So from a broker standpoint, I would say that would be a referral situation, to refer that out to another agent. Now, could you still get paid on referring that agent? I would say yes, but the amount would vary depending on the referral agreement between you and the agent you're referring it to.
Yeah, let's get clarity on that, because because My State is a nationwide MLS, and I'm sure you have agents all the time that work with possibly sellers in other states. But if they're not, your question really is, okay, I'm licensed in Georgia, but I came across a seller in Iowa who needs help selling their house, and they think Opendoor is a good fit. Can the agent submit that offer request and represent that seller when they're not licensed in Iowa, right?
Yes, that's exactly the question.
Yeah, that's the question. I totally see that use case. But I think we should
Yeah.
follow up to
Yeah.
make sure that we have the right answer, because I don't have that, and that's a great question.
No,
That's
no.
an
So if
excellent
you're
question.
watching the replay after this, we will update the video and all of the different platforms. Right now we're live streaming to all of the different socials. We'll update
Sure.
the answer to this question within the description. So definitely look at the description if you're curious about that question. I did not prepare Rhett or Melissa for them for that question. It just popped up.
It just popped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It popped up because, again, you guys are a nationwide MLS, and you've got agents in every state, and it makes great sense. So I love that question. I really do. I just want to make sure I give you the right answer.
Of course,
and,
of course.
To Mel's point, there is a referral situation, of course. Any broker from any state can refer to another broker without being licensed in that state. That's a different question. But we'll get you the answer and find out. And I
That's
did.
a great question, though.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I did want to say too at the end, the next slide, we put, I think Mel put her contact information here. One more slide down, I believe. Yeah. So we did this just, for your audience, and because, Melissa is actively, part of this partnership and integration. We just wanted to make sure that your audience, if they wanted to reach out directly to Mel, they could. And then also, as a reminder, we will work with you, Nick, to send out a survey about the webinar, and specifically about instant offers and the Opendoor integration. And we would really appreciate feedback. It'll be a short, 5 to 10 question survey. We just want to know what you think about it. Were you aware of it? Would you use it? And how might we make it better as we go forward? So watch for that.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And as always, if you want a copy of this presentation, you can reach out to us, office@mystatemls.com or nick@mystatemls.com. You can reach out to Mel. She has access to it. And the replays will be available on all socials. So if you got something out of this webinar and you want to share your friends, share your colleagues, your broker, whatever it may be, these will be available as soon as possible. And let me just double check. Chat. All right. So it looks like we didn't have any questions, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Rhett and Melissa, for joining in and guest hosting this. I mean, you guys, I was the guest host. You guys were wonderful. I appreciate you every single time we interact, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you for having us, Nicholas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.